Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM. You're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Talk Local to Me. I'm Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
And I'm Cupid. No, wait. Mike Norfield with Visiting Angels. Actually, Woody's Cupid, so.
I know. Yeah.
If you haven't seen his post.
I'm telling you, that post is slightly scary.
It's
just a little bit.
It's very scary.
You're welcome.
So,
yeah.
And if you're listening to this and you forgot today is Valentine's Day, it comes the same time every year. I used to be a florist. It used to crack me up. People would walk and be like, I totally forgot it was Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
so.
You still have time probably to get out there and grab something to take home.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So I went to Walmart last night and thought, you know what? It'd be nice if all the ladies in my office, when they came in, they had a little box of chocolates sitting on their desk. I don't know why I thought that. That Valentine's section at Walmart was crazy last night. So
mm-hmm.
Everybody trying to grab stuff last minute. And then they had all the Easter stuff coming out as the shelves emptied.
Right. So. Yeah, that's what I want. Cadbury eggs. So I'm ready for the Easter one.
Walmart has them.
I love them. They're my favorite candy of all time.
Yeah.
Just in case y'all want to know, Woody. Just in case you need Cadbury eggs here.
I will seek forgiveness next week.
Okay.
Cadbury eggs.
Just checking.
Wait, the little mini Cadbury eggs or the big?
No, the big ones. The mini ones are horrible. I don't even know. Small, no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Not the small ones.
I also like those, Woody, just to let you.
They're not. Okay. I don't know. There's just not enough chocolate to cream ratio.
So I'll have water and chocolate. Yes. Cadbury eggs, not the old ones, not the new ones, the old
ones.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll make a list.
Okay. Right. I'm going to send it to you. My list of
I appreciate that.
It's like now I'm like some highfalutin act. I need a list of
here's
items.
Our rider.
Yeah.
Here's
only green M&Ms.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes. And the water has to be like Dasani or something special.
Fuji.
Fuji. Yes. Yeah,
Fuji.
Boss.
Fuji only.
Room temp or cold?
Oh, cold.
Okay.
I don't do
room temp for me.
Okay. I'll put 2 out. Okay.
Perfect. Awesome. Perfect. Well, welcome everybody to the show today. We actually have 2 sets of guests coming in today. So we're going to be talking to 4 different business owners.
And they all tie into Valentine's because home is where the heart is.
That's right. Home is where the heart is. and each set of guests tie in together, but they have different businesses, but they show great collaboration on what they do or, what you need to, in the case of our first, if you're looking to purchase a home or sell a home or you're going to want to contact these 2 people and make sure that you're doing the things you need to do.
Correct.
So I want to welcome Tracy Ellett. How are you?
Hi, Heather. I'm doing great. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so nice to be recognized here on Valentine's Day. Tracy, I do appreciate that. And then we have Brandon Black with Premier Inspections. How are you?
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yep.
Even though, you guys didn't bring me anything, but that's okay.
No.
I don't have a spouse or anything, and you all just forget about me. It's all right.
That's okay. Like I said, I'm gonna go check out my car later, see what I got in there. See few things in the back.
We have a Galentine's. That's become kind of an event now.
Yeah.
What do we do for fellas these days?
Yeah, y'all need like a bro times event. Something.
Gift cards is what you do for fellas these days.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all right. We'll learn.
I got a turkey sandwich I can give you.
Hey, that's works.
That's my turkey sandwich.
Oh, sorry.
Late gifts are accepted. Just FYI.
Okay. I will keep that in mind. I'll put a little something extra on your plate next week at the annual dinner. I'll give you a little gift.
Good. So that way, if I do end up dancing on the table, there'll be an excuse now. Everybody heard it.
I'll give you a little airplane bottle. Yeah. Set it on your table. So anyway, so Tracy is a local realtor in our area. And as the name Premier Inspections, Brandon does home inspections. So we got both of them on the show to kind of talk to everyone about the importance of your home being inspected, what you're doing, with your home, I guess, prior to selling, or even if you're buying what you're looking for, or, those sort of things. So Tracy, you want to kind of kick us off and tell us a little bit about, who you are and what you do?
Sure. Tracy Ellett. I work for Keller Williams, and my team is LYH Homes. And I've been realtor in the area for about 5 years. And, most people realize that it's still a hot market today. And it's a seller's market across our area. It's been a strong seller's market for a while. And so I work with both buyers and sellers. And when you're working with buyers, they have the opportunity to do a home inspection when they're making a purchase. And there were some crazy days where people were waiving those things, and you can do those things.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it, but folks do. Folks are, this is 2024 and people are doing home inspections. Sometimes they'll do them for their own information purposes only. If it's super, super competitive, but it's good information to have. Hiring a good, reputable home inspector is your best line of defense to know what you're buying and know how to maintain your home as you're buying it, and what you can negotiate and what you can't negotiate. So today I thought it'd be a good idea to talk about, negotiation process. Once you do your home inspection, you're in a contract. What can you ask sellers for? What can't you ask sellers for? And also, when you do that home inspection and you hire your expert there, what they're looking for, and in the systems, and to give us some of the highlights of what things they can't look at as well, so that at the end you're like, well, I thought everything was a-okay, and a year later maybe something comes up. Home inspection is a snapshot in time. So it's just like a car. If you drive it off the lot, something can happen. And most of the things will be checked out by home inspection, but maybe there's some things that they can't see at the time. So, Brandon, tell us what you look at?
Yeah, no. I mean, that's very, in a nutshell, that's an extremely efficient way to explain it. So a lot of people think of a home inspection, and I feel like a lot of people just imagine me in there with a sledgehammer knocking to see what's in the walls and then putting it all back, and they just never know the difference. Unfortunately, that's not the case. A home inspection is actually a visual inspection. I don't go in and take outlet covers off. I don't take light fixtures down. I do check outlets. I do take the main panel cover off and check that. But as far as moving insulation or really moving, if the home's occupied, I don't move furniture to check the one outlet behind it. Anything we touch, we take on a lot of liability. And in the standards of practice set by Virginia, and as well as across the nation, don't require, actually, they prohibit us from doing a lot of things. If a customer's present during the home inspection, I really enjoy when they're there because I can explain it in person as I'm going. If not, I always encourage them to jump on a phone call with me afterwards to go through the report. And my report it's a lot to take, and there's a lot of information in there because legally, especially these days, we have to cover ourselves. So I put descriptions in there, what I'm allowed to do, what I'm not allowed to do, exactly what's inspected, things like that. 2-story roofs. I don't get on 2-story roofs. I have an FAA license, so I fly a drone. I'm too old to fall off roofs these days. So, walking on a roof is not a requirement as long as we inspect it. The drone probably does a way better job than I could even on the roof.
Right.
But, so it's very needed. I feel like being a contractor for 15 years, I can see and I can notice different signs of things, maybe a blemish on a wall or a little bit of discoloration in an area, and I know to look further into that. But ultimately, unfortunately, despite popular belief, we're not digging into holes or things like that.
I think it's so important. And you're right. People were skipping those home inspections. I had a friend of mine, they moved here and bought a house and did not have a home inspection done. And it was like the money pit of all homes. Like they're still, I think it was maybe a month after they moved in, the floor in the second story under the bathroom just fell out, like the ceiling came down because they didn't realize the people ahead of there had done something with the plumbing and they had boarded it up to where you couldn't even get into it and built a shoe rack over there, so you couldn't even it was so many things that they found after the fact. And then once you've bought the house, there's not much you can do, because at first they were like, well, we want to sue no, you can't. That's not something let's put it this way. You can try, but you're not going to get very far, I don't, think, with that. So having a home inspection, I would think, really can ease up some of those headaches going in to a home purchase, and kind of knowing ahead of time what you're facing or what potentially are issues there.
So, some of those, for sure, like you said, they kind of installed a shoe rack, and I see that too. And a lot of times I definitely always try to make a note of it. Such and such area wasn't accessible due to X, Y, and Z. There's been a few times that the homeowner's been present. I was in a basement one time and there was a door going. I knew it was just a little closet and it was up under the front porch, but the homeowner was there and the buyer was there. And there was some things sitting in front of the door, and I'm not allowed to touch anybody else's stuff, or if I break it, I buy it. So the homeowner was there. So I asked him, I said, hey, since you're here, do you care to move this stuff so I can check in there? And he immediately became hesitant. And I was like, well, I'm not allowed to move it, but it's just a few doors, if you don't care to move it. Sure enough, he moved it, opened it up. There was some wood that was left when they poured the concrete. The wood was rotted, decayed. There were termite tubes everywhere. So this little closet made this beautiful house turn into a ton of problems in a little 3 foot by 3 foot space.
Right. Wow. Yeah. So that's what you never can tell. From the outside, stuff can look great, but then, as you dig deeper into it, you may find those sort of things.
And Virginia is a buyer beware state, which means it's on the buyers during their negotiation period and before they even put an offer on a house, which can be a rush sometimes, and to find out as much as they can about the property because they're responsible. If there's a defect in the home that they know about, such as water intrusion, or they know that something's not working, it is the seller's responsibility to disclose that if they know. But if they don't know, then it's the buyer's responsibility to find it and to negotiate it or walk away from it during the appropriate time. And so that's why home inspections are really important, to look at all the systems, to know the age of your HVAC, to know what kinds of plumbing you have, to know your electrical system. I ran into a situation recently where everything was fine. The box was upgraded. It's a 1905 house, and home inspector came in and looked at the brand in the box, and the box, although it was new and upgraded and everything's working fine, was what's the word, Brandon? It was recalled.
Recalled?
Yes. And those are still existent in Lynchburg. There's one particular brand that is recalled. And so those aren't warranted. Those are known to have more problems in them. And so most homeowners won't know that, or home buyers won't know that. And homeowners didn't know it. She installed it, had no idea. And now the box, we know, has to be changed out, fixed, and rewired because we now have the information. The buyer has the information. And then from there, they can talk to their agent and negotiate those things. And so in some cases, it's, we would like the seller to replace these items. In some cases, it's a matter of giving us credit. Because in some cases, the buyers want to have that control of choosing the contractor.
Right.
That they want to do the work, the person that they trust to do the work. And so a credit might be more appropriate if they would like to manage that themselves instead of, allowing the homeowner to choose whoever they want to, and may not always choose the best route, but it's done according to what's written in the contract. So those things can be negotiated as well to make sure that the deal goes through and that all parties agree to what's going to happen. And there are reasonable concessions for all things. A lot of times, some of the bigger things that we see, what can be negotiated in a contract once they get the home inspection back is anything that's considered a material defect. So material defect means it's not working. Doesn't mean it's old. Doesn't mean it's cosmetic.
Okay.
So if you have a home an HVAC that's 12 years old and it's working fine, home inspector Brandon comes in and shows that nope, it's still pumping heat and it's still at the appropriate temperature according to what's on the dial on the wall, that's working. So it's, although the buyer now knows, okay, so it's a 12-year-old HVAC, it's up to them to decide, yes, this is good, because there's really not a lot you can do if it's functioning properly.
Right.
Okay.
And if it's got some, like you said, if the HVAC has some age on it, then it just kind of lets the buyer know too that, like, hey, that's an expense you're going to have to look at the next 5 years or so, like minimum, just to make sure that they're prepared and ready for it. If you walk in and you think it's a brand new heat pump and it's 12 years old, that's a big difference in lifespan.
Yes.
From brand new to.
And it could be a good cue. There are things you can do to mitigate those things for folks who are like, okay, if an HVAC is $8,000 to put in, maybe I want a home warranty instead.
Right.
And home warranties don't always pay 100% of a replacement,
But they can help.
But they can help and give you a little bit more peace of mind if something were to happen during that first year when you're still recouping, to be able to have that in place to mitigate some of those costs.
Mm-hmm. Now, Brandon, I was looking on your website, and you do a lot of things. So you also do like radon testing and mold testing as well. Is that something you see a lot of people doing nowadays?
Absolutely. Radon testing is really big, and I feel like everybody should get a radon test because I actually find a decent amount of it in the area. It's it can vary from house to house. I did one house that was way over the limit, but set by the EPA, and their neighbor barely had anything at all. So radon, it comes up through, it's a gas, comes through the earth. Not a lot of people know what radon is. It changes. Just because a house doesn't have it now doesn't mean 5 years from now it won't have it, because as the earth shifts, the rocks, how it releases its gas, it finds the path of least resistance. But I would say the majority of people that continually use me is because I'm basically a one-stop shop, because I can do it all. You don't have to call 3 or 4 different people.
Right.
And a lot of times whenever I'm at an inspection for the buyers, the seller's agent will contact me and ask me if I can go ahead and do the termite inspection while I'm there, because in a typical transaction, the sellers are responsible for the termite inspection. So I give a reduced price if I'm already there. So a lot of times whenever I'm at an address, I'm working for both sides while we're there. So it's definitely been beneficial. And I feel like it's been beneficial to the realtors and to the customers, because they can come up with a laundry list of questions and they only got to make one call instead of calling 4 different people. Now, don't get me wrong, if something's out of my purview, I definitely refer it out to a specialist. And I'm not here to tell people how to fix things. I'm basically the guy that comes in and says, this is what's wrong. This is who you call to fix it. So I don't just say, this is wrong. Good luck. You're on your own. I don't refer anybody specifically. I just say, hey, you need a licensed electrician, or you need a licensed plumber. And Tracy touched on something that I see a lot. She was talking about getting the credit, which is a fantastic idea. One thing that I've started doing is I go back and I will do re-inspections for free as part of my fee to inspect the repairs to make sure they're done right. And one thing I've learned is a lot of realtors are used to getting receipts at closing saying, hey, this was done. Well, I go back in and inspect it, and I'm look at it and I go back and say, okay, well, you did this, but it's still not right. And then I have contractors call me, okay, well, how do you want this? And I try to explain. It's very frustrating because I'm like, it's not how I want it. It's the proper way to do it.
Right.
And if you're calling me to ask me how it needs to be done, then maybe we should really reconsider career path here. And I hate to sound mean when I say that, but I've had it happen a lot. And, I'm not a code inspector. I very rarely do quote code. I do know the codes because I've been a contractor for 15 years, but my client's best interest is what I'm there for. And it's refreshing whenever there's realtors like Tracy, because that's the same way. Tracy and I have been on some very interesting inspections, and I go through the summary at the end, and Tracy just gives them the list. Yeah, it has polybutylene piping, and this is a side effect of it, and you should let's sit down and let's consider everything. So it's really refreshing when you see a realtor that her best interest is the clients and not closing and getting the commission check.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I think Brandon brought up a good point there. There's a lot of things that he's going to find and he's going to flag that he's going to see, foundation issues, but then there are specialists. So the second tier of defense for buyers is you get that home inspection, or maybe you have a suspicion before you even go into the home inspection that the HVAC isn't working properly, or there might be a foundation issue, or they're looking for the reason for the water intrusion in the basement. And that might not be something that Brandon can diagnose in a general inspection, just like a general practitioner can't really diagnose and cure cancer. And so you need to get in those specialists. So you call in the HVAC person who's licensed in that to go ahead and open up the system and look and see what's going on in there. Or you get the foundation professional to look at the outside and the inside and figure out. And then you have those quotes too. And that gives you a better negotiating position. Because here's the other thing. When you're negotiating in those things, you've got the home inspection from Brandon. If you have the specialist with the quote of what it's going to cost you, and maybe it's good, maybe you get 2 quotes to make sure that the seller knows you're not going with the most expensive one. They now know that there's a problem. So if they decide to walk away from the table and go, and bring it to the next buyer, that might be successful, but they have to then, because they know of the flaw that they didn't know, they would have to disclose it to the next person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that, that also weighs in your negotiating power while you're at that table. Like, and they have an interest. They put it on the market because they want it to close in 30 days. We're saying we're willing to close in 30 days, but we need these things fixed. We're helping you because here's the professional who says he can do it for X amount. Let's just get it done, and then we can all move away. And a lot of times that goes a long way in helping the deal move through, giving the sellers a peace of mind that the buyers aren't just out for a money grab. Sometimes you hear that because you don't want to ask for cosmetic things. Paint color doesn't matter. Smaller things aren't. There's some responsibility on the buyer to change. They're not buying a property that's managed by a landlord anymore. They are buying a property that they are managing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So they have to have some skin in the game, so to speak, but nobody wants to buy a lemon, right? And so doing your homework in getting the specialists, getting the quotes gives you a better position to help everybody feel good at the end in moving forward with the deal.
So another thing that I noticed, and I actually think this is really awesome, and I don't know if every home inspector does this or if it's just Brandon, you're just, fabulous.
I am so great.
Okay.
So thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But you do 11-month warranty inspections, and I assume that's also for someone who just owns their home and wants to have you come in and just kind of help them maintain it to make sure everything's going correctly in their home. But then, let's say they decide, hey, I am going to want to sell it. They've already had you in there and they know what needs to be done and repaired.
Yeah, so I do home maintenance inspections for that, and I've actually had some people reach out and they are thinking about putting their house on the market within the next year. They want a list of things that they need to work on, so whenever it goes to market, it sells quick, and that's fantastic. I love when people do that because they want to hear the nitty gritty, and
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're always more receptive, obviously. If you find somebody that is found their dream home and I come in and tell them, well, your breaker box is recalled, you have wrong piping here, this is inadequate, it crushes their dreams. Don't get me wrong, it's my job to tell them, and I definitely do, in a nice way, obviously. But the people who are getting ready to sell obviously want to hear the stuff because they want to correct it.
Mm-hmm.
They've already bought their home. But the 11-month warranty is I do a lot of it. There's so much new construction in the area that in Virginia, whenever you buy a home, the builder has to warranty it for the first year. So the 11-month warranty, I come in 11 months, a month before their warranty's up, and I go through the entire house again because a lot of things can happen in a year.
Yeah.
There was actually a gentleman that I did the 11-month warranty for them. I didn't do their initial inspection when they bought it, but they called me to do the 11-month, and they ended up getting 3/4 of their roof replaced under warranty because I was there. So the couple $100 that they paid me to come do the inspection saved them probably about $10,000.
Yeah.
And it's easy to find little flaws. And a 1-year warranty, you think, oh wow, that's a lot, but it's really not.
Yeah. Not when you expect a house. When you buy it, you're like, I'm going to live here for 30 years. Like,
Right.
That first year, things settle in, things, you don't, sometimes when you build something or, install a roof, things like that, you don't really see the problem until there's been some time for it to kind of show those problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And fortunately, some of his issues showed themselves before the warranty was up. And he called me and said that I told him, look, whenever they come in and they fix these, call me and I'll come back and do a re-inspect just to make sure it's done proper. And he called me and he said they pretty much replaced the entire roof. He said, if you want to swing by one day and look at it, he said, but they seen your report and they
They were like, uh-oh.
They went, I mean, they went through and fixed everything. They didn't even buck on it. So it's really nice whenever I can help people with things like that. That's, I guess, probably one of the most rewarding parts of it is like for a realtor helping somebody find their dream home. For me, it's saving somebody money or finding them an issue that is going to save them in the long run. Because ultimately, anybody who's truly in it and cares about their customers, we all want them to live their best life in their house, whether financially free or, not finding these crazy things afterwards. I'm not going to say things don't happen, obviously, but I can't see inside of walls. I lost my superpowers a few years ago, but
sorry to hear that.
One day I'll get them back. Yeah. Another spider will bite me or something.
Well, buying a home is probably one of the biggest decisions that you're going to make in your life, aside from getting married and having kids and things like that. Buying a home is pretty up there. So you definitely want to make sure you're investing that, into something that is going to have some longevity to it. And you're not going to have full of surprises and you're devastated after you bought it and thinking to yourself, great, what did I get myself into?
Yeah. And especially buying a new home. So I never thought about the 12-month warranty. Like, I could buy a brand new house, go into it, and for, the 12 months, I'm kind of looking for things that might be wrong, but I don't really know what I'm looking at. But to have you come in at 11 months and go, hey, here's everything that I found wrong from an inspector viewpoint. You're professional that, you do that every day. People come to us and they're like, I don't know what to do to get care in home and, to get in-home care and things like that. And, but I always tell them we do it every day. It's the same thing with you. Like you do it every day, you know exactly what to look for. Like you said, you can see a blemish on a wall and know, like, is that water coming through or is it, something like that. So that's a great thing. I'd never even thought about,
a lot of
someone
people
actually check.
Right. Well, and I hear a lot of people, they're like, well, I'm not going to do a home inspection because it's new construction. And I always kind of giggle and I tell them, unfortunately, I've inspected a lot of new construction around here. And while you definitely have a year warranty, if you move in and find that there's things wrong, chances are you're not going to get it fixed until that warranty's almost up because they're going to come in and do it all at once and you're going to live like that for a year.
And in some cases, the builders will even tell you, you have the builder's warranty, but we are not your personal handyman. Right. And so they'll have limits on what they'll be able to do during that year because they can see where it could be taken advantage of from their point of view.
Right.
As well. And the re-inspections are really important too. Even if you have a home warranty that's not new construction, that's typically a year. You go in at 11 months right before that warranty is out of date, and you can have Brandon or come in and look at it and see if there's anything there for that last month that you need to, get shored up that would still be covered with that home warranty if you choose not to go forward with it. And the re-inspections are really important, even when you go through and you have your negotiations for a property that's had a laundry list of things that needed to happen. And it's not because the sellers necessarily are bad people or things can be missed or things can be done improperly. And everybody's human. And so having another pair of eyes to go in just to ensure that it's been done and taken care of is super important in the process there to give you that peace of mind that it's happened.
Okay.
That's a very good point. I always, at the end, I always hand out, I give all my customers home maintenance books, and it's just a detailed book that just shows little things about keeping up with the house. And if I live in a house for 20 years, you're going to come in and notice something that I don't notice because I look at it every day and I've looked at it every day for 20 years. And while it's changed, your eye is going, even a non-inspector, you're going to see something that I don't see because it's just become my natural surroundings.
Right.
My house, I probably see less in it than I would do somebody else's. My friends hate it because I go to their house and tell them what's wrong with their house while I'm there. So.
One other thing I wanted to say that's really important when you're transferring that from sellers to buyers. A lot of folks put a lot of stock in new roofs, and they should, and as well as new HVACs, and they should. And so a lot of, renovations and flippers will tout that. Make sure that you get the paperwork and that those new roofs are registered, the company that did it.
Yeah.
And same thing for the HVAC, so that if there is a problem, because we live in a world where there are problems, even in new things, so that if you're gone and you can't get in touch with that seller that has sold this, you've got the paperwork on which company did it, how they're doing it. Same thing for any foundation work.
Right.
So that it's registered, so that a year down the road, if something freaky happens with that HVAC that was new, you've got some paperwork, something tangible on you to go back to them, so that you're not just out. Because new is sometimes only as good as the paperwork, unfortunately.
Yeah. So that's great. So thank you both for coming on. I always ask a couple questions of every guest that comes on. One is, how long have you been part of the CVABC? And Tracy, we'll start with you.
I joined the CVABC a little over a year ago and have been really pleased in the folks that I've been meeting and the networking opportunities, and also in all of the marketing opportunities. Heather's doing a fantastic job in leading all young business leaders, newer businesses, small and large, and helping us to be the best and serve our communities as best we can.
Yeah. And so the second question, which you kind of answered a little bit, but what do you think is the best benefit of being a member of the CVABC?
I think the networking and being able to connect with other like-minded professionals. Everybody is stronger when we have a strong team of business owners who is community-minded and willing to help one another. The community grows, we get bigger, and we can make our clients happier because we have access to more resources.
Awesome. And Brandon, how long have you been a member of the CVABC?
I think just a little less than a year.
Okay.
And I've been extremely pleased as well. It's I've been a member of several other organizations, not just here. I've only lived here for a year, but I think I told Heather at one point I went and looked back at some of my other companies, and we pay over 27 chamber fees yearly just in the different areas that we work. And honestly, this has been the best membership I've had. The networking opportunities. Heather goes above and beyond. She messaged me the other day about how many tickets I was needing and who I was needing them for the dinner coming up. And I was gracious because I've been very busy. And I said, I completely forgot. You're the best in the world. She's like, oh, no problem. That's just what I do.
Thanks.
She's just always super nice and always helpful. Always.
Awesome. So what do you think the biggest benefit is, do you think?
Oh, my name recognition, networking. It has been phenomenal. Just I've run into people that I've never met, that they've seen me and they're like, oh, you're a member of the CVABC. And I'm like, yeah.
They're like, hey, I saw you on the billboard.
A lot of people have been saying that lately.
So how can people, speaking of billboards and things like that, how can people get in touch with you if they wanted to use your services?
Obviously my business number, it's call or text 434-300-HOME. Or my website, inspects4u.com.
Perfect. And Tracy, how can they get in touch with you?
Same. Most people can call me 434-444-2063, but I have all the things: Google Business, Instagram, LYH Homes, Facebook, Tracy Ellett Real Estate, LYH Homes, and my website, LYH Homes.
Oh, that's good. I have all that too.
And I will take a quick second to say, Brandon is also a premier sponsor of the Central Virginia Business Coalition. So you can also find his information. You can find Tracy's as well on our member directory. So if you're looking, you can go to www.cvabc.org and find that information on our member directory or in our sponsors when you look for Brandon as well. So,
awesome.
And you'll see him plastered everywhere with all the things we'll be doing this year. So.
Oh, can I add a half a second? Another thing I like about it, all of your fees are up front. So with different events, like with other organizations, they call, and if you sponsor, it's kind of money throughout the year.
Right.
Here, it's okay, this is the fee for the year. You can pay it this way or you can pay it that way, but there's no more coming back.
Right.
This is it, and you get this and this and this with it, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you both for having us.
Thank you for having us on
Thank
our
you
show.
both thank you for having us on the Brandon Show today. I'm the co-host, allegedly, and want to thank you for that. We're gonna go for some quick messages here. One from, actually, they're both read by one of my favorite people. So,
for gracious sakes, I need to start doing more commercials.
We'll be right back. Are you or a loved one looking for top-notch care and support in Bedford, Virginia? Look no further than Oakwood Health and Rehab, where compassionate care meets excellence in rehabilitation. At Oakwood Health and Rehab, we understand that each individual's journey to recovery is unique. That's why we offer personalized care plans tailored to your specific needs. Our team of experienced and dedicated healthcare professionals are here to provide round-the-clock care and support, ensuring your comfort and well-being every step of the way. Our state-of-the-art facility is designed to create a warm and welcoming atmosphere, making you feel right at home. Our cozy rooms, beautiful gardens, and engaging common areas provide the perfect setting for your recovery journey. Oakwood Health and Rehab offers a wide range of rehabilitation services, including physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy, all aimed at helping you regain your independence and quality of life. Our experienced therapists work closely with you, guiding you through your tailored exercises and activities that promote health and healing. But it's not just about the physical well-being. We believe in nurturing the mind and spirit too. Our enriching recreational programs and social activities ensure that you stay engaged and connected with your fellow residents. Your comfort and satisfaction are our top priorities. That's why our caring staff takes care of everything, from medication management to delicious chef-prepared meals that cater to your dietary preferences. Discover the warmth and support of Oakwood Health and Rehab in Bedford, Virginia. Our team is here to welcome you with open arms and provide the exceptional care you deserve. So don't wait. Call us today at 540-425-7800 to schedule a tour and learn more about how Oakwood Health and Rehab can be your partner on the road to recovery. Oakwood Health and Rehab. Neighbors caring for neighbors in Bedford, Virginia. We look forward to caring for you. Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care, is now serving Lynchburg and the surrounding counties from their new location at 2201 Linghorn Road, providing our community with personal care services, including assistance with bathing, dressing, meal preparation, grocery shopping, light housekeeping, and much more. Our trained staff have to pass all of our requirements for a high standard of care, ensuring that you have a compassionate, kind, and qualified caregiver. Our office team works with you as a partner in providing care for you or your family member to make the task of starting and continuing care an easier process. At Visiting Angels, we understand that every individual is different. That's why our team of dedicated caregivers is committed to providing tailored assistance to make you happier and healthier at home. Call 434-439-4698 to learn more about our services and schedule a free in-home, no-obligation consultation. Trust Visiting Angels in Lynchburg to bring peace of mind to you and your loved ones.
America's Choice in Home Care.
Y'all missed me singing that little.
Yeah, she was over here singing.
I
the jingle.
wish I came up with that jingle. I love jingles so
figured.
much. I really do.
Fantastic. And if you were listening to this commercial, be like, wow, that sounded really great. And you want to know how to get to be a sponsor of the podcast, there are several ways to do it. You can check out more information on cvabc.org. You can have either Heather read it or you can have me read it, and it'll sound like those professional commercials did there. Or Woody said for $10,000, he will record the commercial in a cartoon voice.
Yeah, half of it.
Yeah. But in all reality, you can also record your own commercial if you want to come in. And it's very, honestly, very inexpensive. It's like $100 a month, and you're going to be on here. And our listeners are, way up there. Our downloads are up there. So
they went up in March of last year.
And let me,
allegedly,
through the roof. And let me tell you, we've got even more in store for the app coming soon. I can't say anything.
Oh,
so I'm telling you. So you, and if you get any pricing on radio advertising or anything else out there, you'll see just what a deal the CVABC offers.
So are we getting new logos with that?
It's a deal, folks.
Stay tuned.
Awesome.
A lot of new things.
Awesome.
So, we talked a little bit at the beginning of the show. It's Valentine's Day.
It is.
You're out there preparing for, hopefully you've gotten your loved ones some flowers or candy or jewelry or, taking them out to dinner.
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets are good.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A's got the heart nuggets.
Waffle House is taking reservations for tonight. I'm just saying.
I love Waffle House.
I got the flyer in my car.
I'll go in there. But my husband doesn't bring me flowers because I don't do well with flowers, but that's okay. But I think our next guests tie in very nicely into love and, being able to celebrate and all of those things, not necessarily just for Valentine's Day, but for, all types of occasions. And so we have Vanessa here with Vows by Vanessa. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
And
happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day to you as well. And then we also have Colby with the Ridgeview Event Center and La Quinta Inn and Suites in Lynchburg. And so we want to, we brought both of them on today because we're actually hosting a ribbon cutting for Vanessa on the 27th of this month at the Ridgeview Event Center.
Yes.
So it's a great place to kind of tie that collaboration in and talk with both of you about, what you do and how we can push that out to the community. So.
Yeah.
I guess I'll start with you, Vanessa, and just kind of tell us, Vows by Vanessa, what is all of that about?
Yeah. So back in 2006, I joined an interfaith seminary where I took a year to study about the world's major religions. That way, I could authentically marry people from different walks of life, different cultures, different traditions, different faiths, no faith. So in 2007, I was ordained as an interfaith minister. I officiated in New York in the tri state area for about 14 years. Then my family and I moved to Southwest Florida for 3 years, where I officiated there. And we've been in Lynchburg since August. And I made sure that I got registered with the city of Lynchburg before even moving here. That way I could hit the ground running.
Mhm.
There you go.
And it's been a whirlwind ever since. Fun, overwhelming, but in such a good way.
All the
Yeah.
things.
All the things.
All the
Yeah. So I do weddings, customized weddings. I do vow renewals, baby blessings, elopements, micro weddings.
So I'm trying to talk my husband into a vow renewal.
Yes.
Next year will be 20 years for us.
Oh, that's
Wow.
a perfect
Our wedding-
year to do that.
Yeah,
Yes.
our wedding anniversary will be 20 years in April of 2025. And so I'm trying to talk him into a small vow renewal
It's
type thing.
sweet. It's
He's kind of
sweet.
like, why do we need to do that? I'm like,
Just-
just because.
Just tell him you buy him a gun if he does it.
Yeah.
Huh?
You got to learn. You got to speak the language.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'll buy you a new gun if you do.
He would rather have a new like 4-wheeler
Okay.
or oh no,
Well,
no.
whatever. You know,
RC car. Like those
Okay.
seem to be his big things.
Well, that's a good compromise.
Get an
I'm just,
RC car.
I'm just saying, start shopping and be like, I'm going to get this for you as a vow renewal present, and then he'll be like, wait a
Yeah.
minute,
Mm-hmm.
I think I could do.
Well, what happened was when I won the ring from Arthur's Jewelry, when I won
Yeah.
the diamond from
Yeah.
Arthur's Jewelry, then it became like, oh, look at my new ring. Wouldn't that look great with a new band? Like, let's keep going. So anyway, it's kind of fun. It'll be happening soon. So
I say go for it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really sweet. Like just recommitting to each other after
Mhm.
so long and having your family there, but now your kids are there,
Yeah.
So it's sweet. It's nice.
Now, how as far as you do so what I want people to know is that you go to where I say, I mean, I guess every minister goes to a church or whomever, to whomever, but I've seen where you've posted where all of a sudden someone's like, oh, we just want to get married today. We just need somebody.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they call
we've
you
had a
and like
few.
you're there. So I think that's kind of important to state that, if you're
Yeah.
just looking for someone, even if you're doing that elopement or, just
Absolutely. So
courthouse steps.
yeah, and which I've done. I've
Yeah.
met couples same day within 30 minutes at the steps in front of the city clerk's office in Lynchburg, and it's beautiful. And some couples plan on having a big wedding a year or two down the road, but for various reasons need to make it legal now, whether it's military or insurance
Mhm.
purposes. There's many reasons why they do it. And I think a lot of couples go down to the city clerk's office assuming that there's someone there that could marry them on the spot. And that's
Right.
what they keep running into. So when I received the phone call, they're like, well, we went there to get our license and to get married on the spot, but we found they gave us a list of names. You're on that list. And we just thought we could do it now. So
Mhm.
there's been times where I met them super quick. I just throw some clothes on and brush my hair and meet them down at the steps at the courthouse. I've had people come to me. I have in my community like a little pretty gazebo, and I've had couples come and just meet me at the gazebo, and I marry them there. And it could be something as simple as just a license signing. So they don't even want an elopement. And I just have to legally ask them the declaration of intent to be able to legally marry them. I sign their marriage licenses and then I mail them into the city clerk's office.
And it's important to have someone who is able to do those things for you to make your marriage legal.
Yes.
Because I believe you told me a story where you had someone reach out to you because they thought in like November, December last year, they got someone to do
Yes.
their wedding and then they found out it was not legally binding. So
That actually happens frequently. In other states, you can have a friend or family member
Yeah.
marry you legally. In Virginia, I found out when I was going through the application process that Virginia actually does not recognize my ordination. They classified it as an online ordination, even though it wasn't, and it was in person. So I had to register as a marriage celebrant. And I was okay with that. I was like, whatever my title needs to be so I can legally marry people here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, it's fine. But what I've seen happen is they ask Uncle George or friend Becky
So
to
my
officiate.
sister had a friend of hers do the kind of the vows and things like that, but the legal part, they had an officiant come in
Yes.
and do that so that they could have that. I've always wanted my friend to be able to
Yep.
do this for me. And you can split it into two kind of different parts there and have different roles, but it's important to make sure that you have the right person there to make sure that it's legal.
Exactly. So, for instance, this coming March and April, I have one couple that I'm going to Seneca Lake venue in Gladys, and I'm just signing the license. Their friend is going to officiate. I'm just showing up, asking the legal questions, signing the licenses, and that's it. And then I have another couple up towards Charlottesville that I'm actually coaching the person that will be officiating for them. So I will do the marriage license signing, but I'm also going to be helping to craft the ceremony with the person that they asked to officiate for them.
Yeah.
And just kind of coaching them through, people forget that there's certain cues that you have to know with the DJ, the photographer. You have to remember to tell everyone to stand for the bride. You have to remember to tell the guests to sit down before the ceremony begins. I can't tell you how many ceremonies I've seen where the guests are stuck standing and they're like, are we supposed to sit? Are we still standing?
Right.
What are we supposed to do?
I just sit. I'm like, yeah.
They do the
Just sit
halfway
and
thing
just
where they're
whisper,
like up
spread
and
the
down.
word.
like-
These heels are killing me. I'm sitting down.
Yeah. So there's a lot. There's a lot that, you really wouldn't think of unless you've been in that situation over and over.
Mhm. So I know for most women that, you get the question pop to you. It's all great after you've posted all your pictures of your ring and whatnot. One of the very first things you do is say, where am I getting married?
Mm.
Where's the venue? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And so Colby, I want to, chat with you a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the Ridgeview Event Center.
That was a great segue,
is
by the way.
Relatively.
That
I
was
know.
fantastic.
pretty good.
I got you.
I was like, where's she going with this? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, Ridgeview Event Center, while it's relatively new, is a beautiful venue.
Mhm.
I'm going to personally give you guys a plug because I love to, whenever I use our members for things, give that plug. We use, and you don't have to use Ridgeview just for weddings. Any
That's
events
right.
can do. We've used it twice. Once for the CVABC, we held our coffee talk there.
Yep.
Was wonderful. Beautiful venue and lots of room. And then I have most recently used it for my daughter's baby shower. And if I can just tell you how perfect
Mm.
the space was for that event and the number of people that came in that were like, wow, we didn't realize this was here. And like,
And
this
how
is
beautiful it is
beautiful
inside.
and
yeah.
it's bright and it's airy and it's you don't walk into just some dimly lit room. And
Yeah.
they had the tables there for us to use and they had the the kitchen area and it was just phenomenal. Phenomenal space. And the fact that it also is attached right beside the hotel, La Quinta. If you're having a wedding with out of town guests, it's perfect
That's
to
right.
put them up in. So
That's right.
anyway, that's my 5 stars. If I could
Yeah.
give it 10, I would give
I
it that.
agree.
They only let me do
Aw.
5.
I agree.
You guys are melting my heart.
So,
Stop it.
but
No,
yeah,
I'm
tell
just
us,
kidding.
Colby,
Don't
a little bit about the event center and the
Yeah.
hotel and like how that kind of, works for people that are looking to have an event space.
Absolutely. So our event center has been open less than a year. So we opened in May officially of 2023. So still less than a year. We're still kind of a baby in terms of space. We can hold about 150 people. And then kind of what's great about the La Quinta Inn and Suites Hotel being right next door is when you book an event with us, we also will give friends and family a 20% discount on a group block of hotel rooms. So if you've got older family or you're planning on having a few too many to drink, then you can walk 40 steps back over to the hotel
Like that
and just
idea.
fall into your bed and
Yeah.
night. So yeah, we're having a lot of fun with it. We've seen a tremendous increase in business from probably December on. I joined the property in August, and it was a slow start. There'd kind of been nobody there taking care of it for a few months. And so it took a little bit to get it off the ground, but I think, we don't do any marketing. It's all word of mouth.
Right.
And it's intentional because we kind of want to be a hidden gem. And truthfully, we don't have enough staff to be able to handle, 7 events a week. So,
Right.
if I get to 3 or
Not
4,
yet.
I'm turning the 5th one down. So, like I said, not yet. That's right. We got
Not
some
yet.
big goals, some lofty goals, and we have a lot of fun. So,
I know too, like for me, I'm not gonna lie. So two things I'll bring back to that.
Yeah.
I had come that morning to set up, and I had gone through a local, like a drive-through, and got a coffee, and I told them like I need this many creamers and this many sugars, and they didn't give me the right amount. So I walked down to the kids' house. I need some creamer. Your front desk person was so sweet. She gave me extra creamer. I took them cupcakes afterwards. We brought them like all of our leftover cupcakes. We gave to your whole staff. We were
That's
like,
so
here, take
sweet.
the cupcakes. But then also we were
free
in
coffee all day, by the way.
yeah.
Janet Sweets.
We were in the middle of the baby shower, and this couple just walks in, and I'm like, I don't know who they are. They're like, oh hey, we just want to see the space, and I was like, sure, let me showing her around. I was
It's
like,
the perfect time to show it off.
I was like, do you have a gift? No, I'm just kidding. But it was
Cash
really
is an
great.
acceptable gift. That's what Brandon said in our previous segment.
Yeah.
That's true.
But it was also very easy to, coordinate with Colby. He's, leading up to it, he made sure like, hey, how many tables are you gonna need? What do you need from me on this end? And like, I said, how do I go about getting in the morning? Do I need to come get the key? So it was very easy. It wasn't something where I felt like I was pulling my hair out the whole time to get a hold of someone,
Right.
or, you work with some places that, it's I want to say difficult, but sometimes it's a little more difficult
to
than
get
others
that
to
call back.
yeah.
Sure.
They're not as organized as Colby. Like
Right.
there's nothing wrong with the facility, anything like that, but sometimes the availability of staff can be a thing too. And I
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
Colby makes an effort to make sure that when somebody has an event there, they've got everything they need. So
Right.
And we over communicate. So,
that's my favorite thing ever.
That's something I pride myself on is being an over communicator. Our focus is going and our attention is going to the clients who we have deposits and contracts from. A lot of people say that, but they don't truly mean it. They're chasing after the
Right.
next dollar, but not taking care of this one. We want to take care of the guests that we're doing. We want to do it well, and we want to be intentional with what we're doing, not make as much money as we can and it all be a disaster or plug a train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I really like what I really love what you said there. You said you're making sure that the people, what was it about the money? You're not chasing the next dollar. You're making
Yep.
sure.
That's
Say
right.
that again. Cause I
I don't know if I remember it now, but not chasing the next dollar. We're taking care of the dollars we have.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's it. That is a great thing. I think a
I
lot of
love
businesses look at growth and they forget that, so in
I'm
my
gonna
world,
use that just so you know I'm stealing it.
trying to grow a business, sometimes you forget that you've got clients that have been with you for a long time, and you've got to take care of them too, because you not only have to keep new clients coming in the front door, you've got to make sure that you don't have them sneaking out the back door too. So
Absolutely.
that's a great thing, and yeah, that's going to come up again.
And I have
So-
probably 2 clients in the 6 months I've been taking care of the space that have done 4 or more events with us that have my
Wow.
personal cell phone, and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
reoccur once we've developed
Once you
a
build that relationship, yeah.
Mhm.
then I don't mind. Once I know they're not going to call me at 3:00 in the
Right.
morning, 6 days a week.
You build that trust
Then-
a little bit there.
yeah.
Like if they do call you at like 5:30 on a Friday, they're like, "I'm so sorry, but
Yeah,
like I have
that's
this question,"
okay. Yeah.
and that's okay. But
It's okay every now and then. Just
you call me at 3:00 in the morning, we're gonna have words the next day if I remember the phone call. So
Well, I know that the two of you have done work together.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so like how important it is that to have those referral partners in kind of the
Huge.
in the I want to say the business that you guys run.
The wedding industry.
Yeah, in that
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah, it's huge for me. I have to say, coming from New York and also Southwest Florida, even though it was a short stint of time, both places were super competitive. And the markets were oversaturated
Yeah.
with every wedding vendor, officiants, photographers, venues. And coming here to Lynchburg, specifically in Central Virginia, what a switch. What the way that the wedding vendors, and I say this for all the businesses in the area, but specifically for the wedding vendors, it's amazing the way we refer to each other, the way we use each other for personal, situations. If I need a photographer, I know who to call. And I knew that my ribbon cutting was coming up, and I thought about having it at the CVABC office. And I'm like, well, maybe
We're
bigger
not as
space
pretty
might work.
yeah.
I was thinking more of just having like elbow room
Yeah.
and being able to invite all of the wedding vendors that I've recently become good friends with and the other small businesses. So I had actually reached out to Colby because I was at their ribbon cutting, which was beautiful. Repast Catering was there. I got to eat some good food and shake hands with everyone. And I just realized how beautiful it was. And I was like, hey,
Yeah.
would you be open? And he has been so accommodating and helpful. And same thing, like you said, with the baby shower. He's like, how would you like the room set up? And how do you envision it? And these are things that we have laying around that we can help you with. And it just made the whole stress of having a ribbon cutting and being a brand new resident of the area.
Yeah.
Just,
Right.
And I think for us, like, because we don't, we don't have a marketing budget for the event center, especially, building that sense of community and getting to know people, that is our marketing budget,
And,
you know?
and being able to, so like, having her ribbon cutting there, you're also able to show off your space.
Absolutely.
And that's, I mean,
definitely.
not to downplay your event at all.
No.
That's free marketing.
Yeah.
Like that is showing off the space and how it can be
Absolutely.
used and could give other people, great ideas of how to use the space.
Absolutely.
And I've got Vanessa's flyers sitting in our hotel lobby right now. I've had hotel guests call or come by the front desk and say, hey, we're trying to get married tomorrow. Do you know anybody? I'm like, yeah, right there. Grab them a flyer.
I went on a weekend trip and realized I could stay in a hotel room with them overnight. So I want to spend the rest of my life with them. So,
Yeah.
Listen,
that's an important milestone
It
in a relationship.
happens.
When you know that you can get ready the next morning and not be in each other's way. That's a great thing.
Lynch
Yeah.
Vegas.
So, yeah, Lynch Vegas.
Lynch Vegas. I
Absolutely.
love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
So just a reminder, Vanessa's ribbon cutting is on the 27th of February at the Ridgeview Event Center
Yes.
at 4:30.
Yes.
Yes. So,
Awesome.
if you're
I'll
a
have
local
some
business owner,
snacks,
come
and
out
some
and
drinks,
Yep.
and
come out and learn more about her. Visit the Ridgeview Event Center. Put that on your calendar and,
Yes.
make sure to come out.
So let's find a little bit more about you both right now. So how long, there's two questions I ask every guest. How long have you been part of the CVABC? Start with you, Vanessa, ladies first.
Since August.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Alexis
Since she
from
moved
Love
here.
and Lace introduced me to it. I had met her and she told me about it and I jumped on right away because it seemed like a group of amazing people. So
Yeah. And what do you think is the best benefit of the CVABC?
definitely coffee talk and the networking for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm grateful for, seeing my billboard up. I wanted to cry,
Yeah.
it was
I saw the
just,
picture of that.
oh my
I saw
goodness.
it. Looked great.
It was a surreal feeling. And I know everyone that has theirs up has to feel that, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the awards dinner coming up where I can support all the businesses that are up for awards. Like there's so much.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for all of it.
Awesome. All right, Colby, how long have you been part of the CVABC?
So the property predates
quite a
me
while.
quite a bit. Yeah. So Heather would probably know that answer better than I
Yeah,
would.
they've. I think the La Quinta and they joined about 2 years ago.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I've been with the property since August.
Okay,
So
so since August.
Yep.
So both of you since August. So
Yeah.
It's the CVABC is relatively new to both of you. What do you think is the best benefit so far?
I was going to say, basically the billboard, kind of touch on that. I think that it's wild. It blows my mind that you can join for, cheaper than the price of what a billboard will cost pretty much or,
Right.
or the same.
That's a good.
It's kind of like you get all the other benefits and amenities
Right.
for free. So,
Mhm.
but I mean, I also think there's value in the type of people or the individuals that are in this networking group because
Yeah.
there's lots of networking groups.
There
right?
are. I'm in a lot of them, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the right one. So that's
agree.
the difference is, these folks are intentional and they do care and they will try to help you with the understanding that you're going to do the same for them.
And you're talking about the CVABC as,
Yes, sir.
as an organization.
Right.
The members in the group are so supportive.
Beyond.
Like that
It's
is
incredible.
the amount of people that have supported us. My wife and I both have businesses that are part of the CVABC.
Yeah.
We went and dropped off a cookie order last night from another member, and we were talking about how to collaborate in the Walmart parking lot on Old Forest Road. So,
That's so cool.
it's just a great community. Everybody wants to see everyone else succeed. We don't gatekeep success. We talk about co-opetition a lot, and about how competitors should work together to make their whole industry improve. And then now we have don't focus too much on the next dollar before you have focused on the current dollar, the dollars you have. So, chasing that next customer is great, but making sure you're taking care of your, like, there are lots of things like that.
I think that's so important. I know, for me, I deal with a lot of businesses and a lot of members, but I can personally say that, if you're a member of the Central Virginia Business, Coalition, I know who you are. I know what you do. I'm very personable about, I don't, like I've joked before, I don't like stalk you, but I get to know you because I feel like I can't represent you if I don't. You're not a dollar to me. It's who your business is your baby.
And as a member, we feel that.
Yeah.
I know I do. Speaking for myself, I feel it. I feel like even though I'm brand new to the area, when I walk into Coffee Talk, I'm looking at friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking at a networking group.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Heather, sorry, Heather, you as well. Like, it's incredible that, again, you have a lot more hats than I think people realize sometimes. But it's pretty incredible that you're not just chasing the next business that will join.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's part of it, right? But you're, again, kind of like we talked about a little earlier, you're taking care of what you have first.
Right.
I feel for me, it's kind of like what I'm doing is folding a new business into the family we currently have.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm chasing them. It's just, I'm just growing our family. And that's how I feel our members are. I went out today and had a networking meeting out in Appomattox. And when I walked in, the couple that was holding it, I came in, I was like, it's so good to see you again. And they were like, we've met you before? And I was like, yeah. I said, you came to our coffee talk at Great American Sleep Shop about 2.5 years ago. And they said,
wow.
They were like, oh my gosh, we did. And like to them, it blew their mind that
That's
I remembered
so cool.
that.
Right.
And I was just like, no, because I make it a point to make you feel like you're not just a number when you walk through my door.
And that's what keeps us coming back.
Yeah.
Right.
So, speaking of coffee talks, I'll really quickly, because I know
You should have Vanessa say. I like the way she says it better.
I really try to suppress
talk.
my New York
Coffee talk.
accent. I really
go today.
try so
Let it go.
hard.
I want to hear coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
There you go.
Love it.
Coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Mingle amongst yourselves.
So yeah, definitely want to throw out there, if you're a business local and you want to experience Coffee Talk, which is our monthly networking event, whether you're a member or a non-member, we don't charge you to come to this event. We want you to come and find out what we're all about. So don't feel like if you walk through that door, we're going to charge you a fee to be there. It is not the case. You're going to want to come this month. So next Friday, the 23rd. Yeah, 23rd. We are at Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, their corporate office. Don't go to any of the drive-thrus and ask if you can come into Coffee Talk. We're not hanging out in the drive-thrus. We're at their corporate office, which is at 104 Candlewood Court, right off of Timberlake Road.
That's going to be more confusing because now there's a Chick-fil-A on Timberlake.
Yeah, but not at the Chick-fil-A, but on their corporate office. So you're going to want to stop in. Yes, there will be chicken minis and coffee.
Until I get there will
and
be.
probably fruit. But usually this event, we have over 60 plus business owners at. So it is a great opportunity to meet other people, experience what we're talking about here today, and get your name out there. So real quick before we leave, Vanessa, how can someone get a hold of you if they are looking to use your services?
Yeah. So probably the best way is a phone call or even text. I know everybody's working. 434-477-4604, or they can email me at vowsbyvanessa@gmail.com.
And Colby?
So our website, doing an inquiry would be the best way. It's events@ridgeview.com, and we'll respond within 48 hours.
And as always, if you are needing information about any of our members, you can find that out at
cvabc.org. made you wait for it today.
Yeah. Happy
Have a great-
Valentine's, everyone.
Have a
Happy
great week.
Valentine's.